So let's now bring in NewsNation Chief Washington anchor Leland Vittert, host of On Balance. Leland, good morning to you. As I mentioned off the top here, I mean, he was up tweeting early this morning for the first time since Assad's fall. He said this, quote, "There's no doubt that what happened in Syria is the product of a joint American Zionist plan." Who would have guessed it, Leland, that he would blame the U.S. and Israel?
Well, in that sense, he's not wrong. Right? The Israelis have, over the past 10 years, severely weakened Assad and continued to try and contain Iranian influence around the Middle East, both through overt and covert means. And there's U.S. politicians on record. I'm thinking John Kerry, Barack Obama, Hillary Clinton, all saying that Assad had to go. So he's not wrong. And, you pointed out that the Ayatollah said, well, this isn't going to weaken Iran. Well, OK, at least you got half of it right. The other half that, yes, this will greatly weaken Iran. And that's why everybody's so excited about it.
Speaking of weakening Iran, the Wall Street Journal has reported that Iran is suffering a blow of, quote, historic proportions with Assad's fall. And now there are concerns that Tehran might accelerate its nuclear program. Now, how seriously should we be taking those kinds of concerns in the wake of what's happened in Syria, Leland?
Extraordinarily seriously. When people tell you that they want to kill you and they want to get nuclear weapons to do it, it's usually a good idea to believe them. The first time, to paraphrase Maya Angelou. So I think there's no question that the world is now refocused on Iran. The October 7th attacks that were designed by Hamas, arguably Iran, to ignite this war that would then isolate Israel and bring about this awakening and second Iranian revolution and on and on and on throughout the Middle East, failed miserably in that extent. Iran has been historically weakened. Really in no time since the Iranian Revolution and Khomeini coming to power has Iran been in such a vulnerable spot, for lack of a better term. That said, when religious fanatics are in vulnerable spots, they tend to do really, really dangerous things. And that becomes the fear here. The one bright spot is that the Ayatollah has always been more interested in regime survival than anything else. It's why the Iranians always are happy to have any other Muslim die, just not Iranians die in the pursuit of their goals. So if it can be explained, may have to be explained through force to the Iranians, that the pursuit of nuclear weapons is a regime ender, that could actually be a real bright spot if an American administration decides to exert that level of threat. Then again, they may not need to. The Israelis may do it for us.
Speaking of possible bright spots here, obviously the big question is what comes next. You have a big leadership vacuum here now. Any chance at all that the next regime isn't as in bed with Putin and Iran as this one was?
There's a very good chance they won't be as in bed with Putin and Iran. Putin, who knows, because terrorist states have always been welcome allies of the Russians or the Soviets. This goes all the way back to the 60s. Not as in bed with Iran, sure, because the groups that have taken over Syria are Sunni Muslim. Iran is Shia Muslim. So they're definitely going to distance themselves from Iran. They already have. I thought you were going to say, is there any chance they become moderate or some kind of secular reform-minded Syrian nationalists, which may be a bit of a mouthful, but for 7 a.m. in the morning.
That was the other thing I was going to say, and then I decided I hadn't had enough coffee yet, Leland, so I went against that.
But any chance these people are anything other than jihadi fanatics? No. And I would encourage anybody who has sort of wants to have an understanding of what's going on there. War Notes today, our newsletter, warnotes.com, to subscribe for free, will have some of the videos that are coming out of Syria to dissuade anyone of the idea that these rebels, if you want to call them that, or anything other than just rank terrorists who are slaughtering and wholesale mutilating, exacting revenge, executing people as they go through Syria.
Yeah, it's a lot at 6:15 in the morning, isn't it? Thanks for watching, everybody. Go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. Also, don't forget to click that red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.